What is up, y'all?
Yay!
We are on live on YouTube and Facebook.
Today
We're live on Instagram.
We're going over the Keto Bodybuilding course beta launch. And disclaimer, I am wearing the same thing I wore last week.
Pretty sexy.
I just had to get that out, like same headband, same shirt. It's fine.
Just to be clear, I'm about to do a live Q&A for the people that have signed up for the course already at 6 p.m. Central. That is not what this is.
This is our normal live that Robert and Crystal do on our normal platforms. Yeah. Robert is going to be doing a whole separate one on Zoom.
No, it's not Zoom. We're going to try the native software within the app. If it doesn't work well, this is the beta. So
it's a completely different app. Yeah. And you should have gotten an email.
Yes, probably so. I don't know. We're testing. That's why it's a beta. We're testing things out.
Right. Testing it out. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. So before we, I guess we'll just dive right into it. So for those of you that do not know, I've been working on a very, very comprehensive competition prep course that I have literally been working on for 4 years now.
Yes.
Crystal, I mean, she could probably give you horror stories. Like before we ever even had Rigel, the conversation at the dinner table was, we can have a kid after the course is launched.
You cannot even get pregnant until after the course is launched.
Yeah, that's a good thing that didn't happen because.
And I said, no stinking way. I am not putting my life on hold for a course. Thank goodness, because Rigel's almost 2.
Yeah.
And we're just now releasing it.
Yeah, get those swords away from him. But yeah, there's been a lot that's gone into the course. I've been working on the course probably for 4 years now, but it's a summation of all that I've learned since bodybuilding for 15 years now and being ketogenic for 8 or 9 years now. And it is incredibly robust. I'm incredibly proud of it, and I'm incredibly excited to keep pouring content into it. So this course it models the 7 phases of my prep protocol, but it's not just like if you're competing. Like I use the exact same principles for my clients that are not competing. Those simply wanting to lose body fat, improve their composition, maintain muscle, build muscle, transition into a reverse diet, improve their metabolic rate and hormone function. Like, it's not just for bodybuilders, but it's marketed for bodybuilders because I've gone ultra niche with it in that regard. Rigel's kind of noisy, so my apologies there.
Oink.
But I'm really, really proud of it. There's going to be 200 plus videos when it's all officially launched, but it's going to keep getting more and more content as it goes. As it sits with the beta launch, all of the 7 phases and the primary framework is uploaded. I'm going to polish those videos a bit more, but all of that infrastructure is already live and accessible. But there's going to be so much than just the course content itself. Like, there's a discounts and download section, and I'm doing a pretty cool thing with companies that I believe in and partner up with. So most of y'all are familiar with like affiliate deals and things like that, like and a lot of influencers in the space and people that have an audience, they'll have an affiliate deal with these companies, in which case they'll get a code, and then the person, like the customer, can use the code and get 10% off, and then the affiliate gets like a 10% commission. What I'm doing with all these companies is I'm basically saying, hey, look, take my commission out of it and apply that to the discount for the people so that they get a better discount. So everybody that gets the course, they're going to have better discounts than they can get anywhere else. So that's going to pretty much pay for the cost of the course in and of itself. And there's just going to be like a community feature. So if you buy the course, you get lifetime access to the community group. There's just like so many add-ons and bells and whistles. Like, I'm trying to make it like a no-brainer. Everybody should jump on this and use it as a resource. And the cool thing is, with the beta launch, since it is a beta and I'm asking people for feedback, you know, I wouldn't feel right giving y'all the course at full cost. So I'm giving all my beta members a 50% discount, and that's only going to go up in cost from there. So the course is going to be like $7.99, and the beta people get it at $3.99, so $400 off. But then you get lifetime access to all the current content and future content. There's its own custom training app that I've built out. There's like this, I partnered up with a team to get my own custom artificial intelligence software that you can use. And that is pretty trippy. Like you can ask it, you know, what should my meal plan be based off of these macros? Oh, by the way, I'm allergic to shellfish. And it'll make a custom meal plan for you, a grocery list for you. Like it's pretty user-friendly and super handy to just have that at your fingertips. So that's exciting.
It's super cool, you guys. I mean, like every aspect of this is really cool. And honestly, I'm not glad it took so long because it has been super intensive and like taken a lot of Robert's time and energy and efforts. But I'm also glad it took so long because I feel like just starting out, there is more. Robert's able to offer you guys more. And it's just going to keep getting better and better. As technology gets better, it's going to keep getting better. As time goes on, he's going to add more stuff to it, more information, more, lives, more whatever. But I'm glad that it took so long because I think he's able to offer more now than he would have 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, it's going to have all the content that I learned from this last 2023 competition prep, and that wouldn't have been in there had I published it earlier. So there's that as well. James, you just asked how to get more information on the program. So I just put the link in the chat of this live that takes you to the landing page for the beta users. Another cool little perk that I'm doing for the beta users. So the deadline to register as a beta user is going to be the end of this month, 31st of March. And I'm capping it at 100 beta testers because I don't want it to be like too unwieldy with the amount of people in there offering feedback. Of those active beta testers that are providing feedback, you're first of all going to get it at 50% discount. But I'm also going to do a random drawing and pick one winner from them to do an all expense paid trip out here to the compound. I'm going to put you in a super nice Airbnb that's just minutes from the compound. You're going to cook with us. You're going to train with us. You're going to live the lifestyle with us. And then I'm going to make you a one-on-one coaching client for the next 6 months. So I just want, like, with everything about this course now and in the future, I want it to be like just so much value that people never have to ask themselves, I wonder if it was worth it. Did I pay too much for this? I want it to be like a resounding, wow, I should have paid 10 times more than what I did because it's just so much value with it. So that's my goal with the course and all future content.
Mm-hmm.
So
do some of this over here.
Yeah, what you got?
Greg said the course is absolutely insane. So good.
Thanks, brother.
What are the macros for wild ground venison? I want to use it in my meal plan, but I don't know if it's leaner or fattier than 96 lean ground beef or turkey.
Let me tell you what I got my macros in for venison as.
And also, we've just accumulated from like different websites and kind of like what the meat looks like and everything. So this may not be like the perfect, but it's the closest that we can get.
So for a store-bought venison that I got, it showed 6.2 protein for every 1.1 fat for 1 ounce. But then I looked it up for wild venison, and again, it may vary a little bit too. It says 8.7 protein and 0.9 fat, so quite a bit leaner on that wild venison. Mm-hmm. I would probably do like an average between those two personally.
Yeah, between 6 and 7 grams of protein and
like 1
gram of fat.
Yeah.
For every ounce. Signed up for the beta course today. Woo-hoo! Why the decision to charge for the beta testing?
Good question, and I thought about that.
Because I've sacrificed the last 4 years of my life.
No, because it's like the beta testers. Yes, I'm getting some feedback from y'all, but I'm pouring a ton of time and effort into the beta testers too. Like as a beta tester, I guarantee you're going to get more value than you give. I mean, any feedback that I get from the beta testers is very much appreciated. So like as the beta testers are going through the course, if they see that like a link doesn't work or a word is misspelled or something like that, just simply dropping that in the comments and bringing it to my attention is kind of what I'm hoping for there. But you're getting all the framework. You just break something? Yep. What do you break? Oh, no. Don't touch that glass, buddy. But all the framework's already there. So you're getting all the content and all the knowledge and all the future content and all, like, you're getting everything at 50% off. And I feel like that was pretty freaking fair.
Plus, we've already given access to some people to help us go over and make sure that.
He's not touching the glasses. Let me just hold him for a second.
Yeah. to make
sit
sure
here, buddy?
that it is pretty well. So it should be pretty well taken care of, but there still might be some oopsies along the way because we're not all perfect. You know, like every one of us could have. I'll get it in a second.
Yeah, all the functional technical stuff is in place.
Yeah.
It's
So
like cosmetic stuff.
We've done some like access for some people to kind of help us out with the back end of things.
Like my mom.
And now it's time to like let it out to the public in the next step, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go get
Daryl, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Knowledge, experience is worth moolah. He has invested a lot. Remember, I appreciate that, Josh. That means a lot, man. Appreciate how active you are on Instagram too. Like you're way better at messaging. I'm the worst at responding on Instagram. I know you sent me a message and I have not responded back. I will get to it. I promise. I'm the worst at Instagram DMs. Annabelle says, I guess I'm asking, what are we testing, Robert? I just joined. So yeah, main thing is basically any feedback you can get, like any workflow. Here, let me add that, buddy. Like I want it to be just the best user experience around. So like as you're going through it, if you say, hey, you know, this link's the wrong redirect link. Like there was somebody that messaged today that the link took them to the wrong spot. So I just fixed that link real quick. But I'm also going to be adding a lot of overlay B-roll footage to a lot of the course content. So a lot of it's going to be just cosmetic related, but like I want it to be just polished and flawless. And like a lot of the videos, all the videos are going to have text overlay of like me speaking. So like text captions. But there's going to be like some misspelled words and stuff in there because a lot of that's automated. So if like anything just doesn't make sense, you know, just dropping that into the comments and pointing it out. Thank you for signing up, by the way, Annabelle. I'm excited to have you in there. Kara said, I signed up. I'm so excited. Can you help me reset my password? I am not getting a reset link. Thank you.
I'm working on it, Kara.
Crystal says she's working on it. We'll make sure.
Oh, hold on. Let me just talk to her live. I just sent you a message. Did it go? Did you check your work email? I would check that one. And if it didn't send through, then I'll have Robert send another code.
Yeah, we'll definitely make sure you get in.
Sweep this up, Watson, please.
Yes. What's up? What's up? Keto Explorer in the building. How are you, man? It's all good, brother. Oops. You guys are a busy family. We are a busy family, but we're loving every minute of it. Is it an app? So yeah, there's the web version, but there's also an app that you can download for viewing the content on mobile. And also the community feature is its own app as well. Also, it's got the web version, so you can use a computer as well. But if you want to use the app, it has the app functionality too. And the workout tracking app is a separate app altogether. So there's going to be a workout tracking app that you can use for logging your workouts and stuff. She said she'll check. Sarah says, I would love to do this. It's great you're adding others' feedback to your already amazing dictionary of info.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want it to be like a huge value add for y'all. So if there's stuff that y'all want to see or feel like not on there, let me know and I'll get it added. What's the matter, Munchie? James Lewis signed up. You made it hard not to. Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. We're excited to have you on board. What's the matter, buddy?
You just
okay?
want it up.
Doing awesome. Small break at work and wanted to hear you talk about this.
Oh, awesome.
Well, sweet, brother. I'm curious to get. He texted me today and he's hooking us up with some more amazing meat products. So let us know how much we owe you, brother. I want to keep you in business and support you as much as we can. And he totally busted that, huh?
Yeah, I think it just fell at the right spot. And
I probably shouldn't swallow these, huh?
well, I mean, we have like 3 more bottles, so that's a stinker because that was like a $40 bottle, though.
Maybe we can just rinse them off, or that make them.
I mean, I would probably just
dust them off. Hit them with a
swallow some glass. No worries.
Hit them with a leaf blower. All right, what else we got over here? Any other questions or comments? I mean, with this live, I just kind of wanted to introduce this whole beta launch test thing. But as is true with all of our live at fives, feel free to have any free form questions.
Tell me how many you want.
Well, let me know how many you got, man. We'll get whatever you got. I'm excited to try it all. I do want to try that ribeye that you cooked up the other day, though. He did like a thin slice ribeye. And do you prefer the sirloin or the ribeye?
Ribeye.
Yeah, we definitely prefer the ribeye.
I like the fat. I mean, I will eat both, but I like the fatty on that. I don't eat very much fat from animals because I just have a hard time chewing through it when it's like an actual steak. But when it's in like something that's like freeze dried or dehydrated or something like that, I can always eat the fat on it. And it's so good. So I feel like it's beneficial for me to have fattier.
Speaking of cooking, we cook for our employees every week. And this week we decided to smoke them pork butt. So we bought 4 pork butt. Each pork butt was how much?
$25.
$25. So $100, 4 big old pork butt. Super easy to cook and absolutely delicious. All I did was I set the Traeger grill to 250 degrees, seasoned them up, put them on there for like 4 or 5 hours till it got to 160 internal temp. And then I took them off, wrapped them in tinfoil, put them back on for another 4 hours until it got to 203 internal temp. Then I wrapped them up in a towel, threw them in the ice chest to rest. And then 45 minutes later, they came out absolutely delicious. Super easy meal prep option.
It is so good. Like, I was shocked at how delicious it was.
And that's the first time I think I've ever smoked pork butt, believe it or not. But yeah, delicious.
Yum. Keto Explorer. Yum.
KJ Case. I'm a 60-year-old female. Would the course be appropriate for me? All right. I'm going to sound biased whenever I talk about the course because I'm so invested into it. But what would you say, babe?
I would say that it's beneficial for anyone because here's the thing. It has a lot of information about why we do things the way that we do. It gives a lot of information on reverse dieting. It gives a lot of information on cutting down, why we cut down, why we look for a protein threshold, why we do all the things that we do. Plus, you'll get access to the additional app and the lives and things like that. So to me personally, you do not have to be a bodybuilder. He does reference competition prep or a competition or whatever, but it does not mean that you have to be doing a competition. Maybe you want to, but if you don't want to, it is just as beneficial for you. But you just have to be aware that it was created with a competitor in mind so that maybe you, instead of thinking like competition, you think like end goal or something like that.
Yeah, like when I talk about posing and tanning, that may not be as applicable to you.
And you can just skip through those unless you kind of want the information because sometimes it's fun to learn.
But as far as like the actual nuts and bolts of like the macro manipulation, the macro calculation, the reverse dieting, the dieting down, all that stuff is going to be very much relevant. I mean, the protocol that I used and developed is the same whether you compete or not. So in that regard, it's going to be very actionable for people that are not competitors too. Yeah. James says, can you put gluconeogenesis to rest for me? I've noticed when my protein level is high, my glucose remains high for a while. I've been carnivore for 15 months, 0 carbs. Okay, so let's talk about that. When I eat a lot of protein, my baseline glucose tends to run a bit higher as well. While I've got you here, let's actually just check my CGM and see what it's showing. I'm curious. Brief sensor issue. That's not good. So I'm not going to be able to tell you what that is. But mine's typically around like 85 to 95. When I train, it spikes up to like 120, 130. Intra workout, immediately post workout, and then it drops back down to 85, 95. Oftentimes it gets as low as 60 or 70. But when I'm eating much more protein, it is higher as a baseline. However, it all depends on the overall macro ratio as well. So I can consume a lot more protein and it still stay relatively low if I'm also consuming a lot of fat in the context. If I have a whole bunch of protein in isolation, then my blood sugar rises much more, prominently. So I always try to pair my protein with a fat. However, if you are carnivore, keto, 0 carb, like you say, and your baseline blood glucose is slightly elevated, like obviously you would still want it to be like beneath 100. But if it's like trending at 90 instead of 70 because you are consuming a lot more protein, that's something called physiological insulin resistance. And that's been tossed around a lot. That is not the same thing as pathological insulin resistance. That does not mean you are insulin resistant from a pathological standpoint. So I wouldn't worry about it whatsoever. Like if you're not consuming carbs, you're consuming a lot of protein, and as a result, your protein's a little bit higher or your glucose is a little bit higher from gluconeogenesis, not the end of the world by any means. I would just make sure you're pairing your protein with a fat, and likely you don't want to be consuming excessive protein relative to fat.
What advice can you give me for a 50K endurance 60 obstacle Spartan race while being on a ketovore lifestyle? Most athletes are the high carb diet for fuel. The race has an average completion of 12 hours.
All right, so you're going to want to do a refeed the night prior to your obstacle course race. And you're going to want to probably test that out for a few weeks beforehand. So try and have a bolus of both fat and protein and probably a little bit of electrolytes, so more sodium than normal. So I would treat this kind of like I do a competition day and the day leading up to the competition day. So I would probably figure out what your baseline sodium intake is, have about 2,000 milligrams above that the night prior to the Spartan race, increase your total calories by about 30 to 40% from both fats and proteins, all from foods that you know your body absorbs and assimilates well. And then the day of the Spartan race, you're probably going to have smaller meals spaced more frequently, so you don't have a lot sitting on your stomach, but it could all be fats and proteins, no need to consume carbohydrates. I would just have consistent electrolyte consumption during the day of the race itself.
It's all awesome information and a ton of experience poured into the program and workout app.
Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it, brother.
I'm curious about this question over here.
James says, I'm 62 years old, by the way.
I don't know what that means.
Thoughts on semen retention?
I don't know what that means.
Can you give us some context, Adam? What do you mean by semen retention? Like if you don't ejaculate frequently enough? Give me some context there. I need some more context.
Yeah, I was like so curious. We should have asked that and then like gone off. But I was like really not sure about that.
Yeah, as it pertains to a ketogenic carnivore diets, just in general. Yeah, a little bit more context on the semen retention question.
How does this match up with your book?
So the book was written in 2020, published in 21, I believe. Is that right? I think so.
What? Yeah.
A lot of it is based like my 7-phase protocol was developed before the book. I developed that with my competition preps and just working with clients. I wrote the book that modeled that 7-phase protocol. The course is that 7-phase protocol broken up in much more detail and with like video overlay, tutorials, demos, and just like a lot more use case scenario stuff. So a lot more visualization. So I also, with the course, I've got companion course videos too. And the companion course stuff you can find on YouTube. Like I published it on YouTube. The course content is not on YouTube. So that's exclusive to the course. But I went ahead and uploaded all of my companion course videos to the course as well. So like you can see me going through each phase and what those look like from my standpoint, what my macros are at a given phase, what my weight's doing at a given phase, what my composition's doing at a given phase. And then you can kind of, look at that in tandem with as you're going through these given phases. So as I'm experiencing things and telling you what to look for, you can know confidently when to switch to the next phase. There's just a lot more hands-on, a lot more integrative, just a lot more depth than what the book has. And it's just going to keep getting better and better because every time I go through a prep, every time I go through a building phase, a reverse diet, anytime I learn something new working with a client, I'm just going to keep adding to this course. So this course is going to be like the thing that I keep pouring into for the next several years of my life, if not the rest of my life.
Are the video demonstration videos included? Are there video demonstration videos included?
Yes. Lots of video content.
Lots of videos.
There's going to be like 200 plus videos.
Nice. Way to go, man.
In terms of energy, stamina, bodybuilding, anxiety, being more focused on any task in general. As far as like, are you going to have more energy, stamina, bodybuilding, and anxiety, and being more focused if you have semen retention? I'm assuming this is in the context of just not ejaculating enough. So I have heard, this is kind of up for debate. Like some studies have conflicting information, but some studies suggest that if you do not ejaculate frequently enough, you're going to have more anxiety. You're going to have an effect on testosterone, stress, things of that nature. I mean, ejaculation in and of itself is triggering the parasympathetic state. So that's why guys tend to relax quite a bit after they have sex. or ejaculate. So you're going to have more of a parasympathetic state phenomenon going on there. As far as the studies that go, because there's been some studies that suggest that you're going to have a dip in performance if you masturbate too frequently, for instance. Like you're not going to be able to lift as hard in the gym. You're going to have a dip in testosterone in that regard. I think those are not, there's not a whole lot of data that suggests that's truthful or accurate, especially in human studies. So I wouldn't really worry too much there. I don't think it would be enough to amount to any measurable impact in gym training performance.
And there isn't there science that says that like it's actually can decrease your chance of prostate cancer if you do ejaculate?
Yeah, like it's kind of like if you don't use it, you lose it situation. So like if you don't ever ejaculate, I think there is studies that suggest your chances of prostate cancer increase.
Go up, yeah.
I'm not sure what multiplier that increases by, so I don't know if it's a significant amount or not. And there are some, I actually had a podcast about this not too long ago about increases in testosterone from increased sexual activity. And again, there was a little bit of an increase, but not like statistically significant increase.
I wouldn't put enough weight in it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't put enough weight in like, yeah, I'm going to have some semen retention versus I'm going to.
Whether you have sex or masturbate the night before is not going to dictate whether you hit a PR the next day on squats. I guess that's
so many other things in your life are going to have a much broader, a much more intense change in all of those things that you were talking about: energy, stamina, bodybuilding, anxiety, all of that. You're going to have probably more results doing like a cold plunge than just not, getting off or whatever.
Josh says, I appreciate the advice and knowledge, Rob. By the way, incredible lift today you posted. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I got 425 for 6 at the end of my deadlift. So I felt pretty good about that. Is it possible to follow without a rack and barbells? Yes, 100%. I'm actually going to build a whole separate, I'm going to have sub lessons and sub courses within the course. And I want to build a whole like body weight and resistance band training module, because I feel like a lot of people, that's all they have access to. In the workout app, I'm going to have that as well as like an open template that people can use if they want. So yeah, thanks so much. You bet. Holly said, I just came in and was like, oops, I clicked on the wrong live. First word I heard was ejaculation.
I was thinking that. I was like, man, people are not going to know what they just jumped into.
Yeah.
It was a question that was asked.
Yeah, we quite the broad range of topics. We talked about the beta launch of the course. We talked about semen retention and ejaculation, and we talked about what else we talked about?
I don't know.
How to cook the perfect pork butt.
That's true. We did talk about that too. That's so funny.
All right, ladies and gents. Well, that is a wrap on this one. I'm going to get set up for the next live, and we're going to get Rigel home, get some food in his belly, and carry on with our evening routine. So thank you all so very much for tuning in. Much love to you all.
You want to tell them one more time where they can go to buy this course?
Yes. I put the link in here, but for those on Instagram that don't have access to that, the website link for the beta testers is let me figure it out here. It is ketobodybuilding.com/beta, or is it a hyphen?
Yep.
beta-tester-landing-page.
That's annoying.
That sounds a lot. And the thing is,
or you guys can just DM me and I'll just send you the link.
Yeah, ketobodybuilding.com will be the actual website, but right now that's just a landing page video for email signups because it's not officially launched yet. But yeah, if you need the link, then feel free to shoot us a DM or something as well.
Have a great night, guys. Much love from Canada.
All right, much love, y'all. Take care. Ta-ta for now. Toodaloo. Adios.
See ya.